Yo, what's good, YouTube? Today I'm back with another video. Recently I've just been making beats and I've kind of been getting bored of it. Not because I don't like making music, but just because I've been making like the same trap beats over and over again. So I kind of wanted to switch it up and I ended up making a yacht rock type beat. Basically just like chill rock music that was like kind of popular in the 70s and 80s. But before we get into it, like, comment, subscribe. And if you want to collab with a bunch of other cool producers, join my Discord. We got a lot of cool people in there doing cool stuff. But let's get right to the video. I'll give you all a little sneak peek of the beat before we actually break it down. Here's what it sounds like. As you can hear, very peaceful. Sounds like you're at the beach looking at a sunset. But yeah, I'm gonna show you how to make something exactly like this. So first thing I started with was the drums. This is what it sounds like. And usually you want to go for like 100 BPM on these beats. Very slow, very chill vibe. And you want to keep that in mind when you're doing the drums too. Usually the drums in these songs aren't even that loud, really. They just kind of sit in the background and just kind of keep the main rhythm of the track. I went to FPC, which is a stock plugin in FL, and then I got this kick called the HQ Jazz Multi-Out, and it has super realistic sounds. Something you would hear in like a jazz song or a rock song or whatever. And this is what the pattern looks like. The rhythm is like super simple. I mean, just like a two-step hi-hat pattern, a snare on the 2 and the 4, a kick on the 1 and the 3. When I was doing like research on how to make these beats, something I actually saw like in rock music and like drummers would talk about this is you can do like something called ghost notes, and not like ghost notes like FL Studio producers know them as like what you see up here or whatever showing the other instruments, but like ghost notes, like just a note that hits super quietly, like you barely even hear it. So as you can see right here, like there's some snare notes, and I basically lowered the velocity basically to 0. And that's something that can make your MIDI sound super realistic if you're typing it in. And with these beats, you just want to make it sound realistic, like somebody's actually playing it. Another thing to do that is just randomizing the velocity on everything. Also remember to make sure your hi-hats have a lower velocity than everything else. The shortcut is doing Alt X, and then you can raise all of them down or below, and then the way to randomize it is hitting Alt R, and then you see the velocity knob right here, you just go up, and as you can see, it randomizes it, and you can go through the seeds and that randomizes it too. And then also the last thing to like make it sound human is literally just changing where the notes hit at. You know, obviously if a real drummer is playing drums, they're not going to hit the drum perfectly on time. Like they're going to be milliseconds off. It's not going to be perfect like how you can just type it in on FL Studio. So the way to fix that is literally just shift, control shift, alt, and then using your arrow keys and just dragging it over slightly just to give it like a realistic feel. And I also added a ride at the top, and then I kind of just put that out in the playlist, that 2-bar pattern, and then I copied it over and then made it unique, so then I could add like switch ups at the end just to give it variation, so it's not like the same thing over and over again. So on the second pattern, I just added like a snare roll at the end and some open hats up top. And then so as for effects go, I basically routed all the drums to one track. Oh wait, one other thing, I added a conga. Sounds super good on these beats. It really gives it that tropical chill vibe. And so yeah, I routed all of these to track 6. I had some EQ, some compression, and then some Valhalla vintage verb. This is what gives it that older sounding, natural sounding feel to it. And then next up, I added the electric piano. This is what it sounds like. The main thing you want to do for sound selection is literally just choose an electric piano. If you go to your VST and you see anything that says chorus EP, chorus electric piano, choose that. In Yacht Rock, the main thing on all the instruments is they add a ton of chorus. Just lay down chords to your liking, but don't be like the trap producers where you just pick the minor scale, you pick the major scale, and then you pull up your scale highlighting and you stay in your scale highlighting. Like, no, try to go outside the box. Actually, like as you can see here, I literally there's like 5 notes back to back, 5 half steps. This is what makes it sound jazzy. This is what makes it sound chill. And then same thing with the drums too. I just kind of strummed it, and then I changed the timing, and then randomized the velocities as well, and then have made the release on the notes different. Usually on these beats, sometimes I hear the piano is super chill, just kind of hits on beat, and then out of nowhere you'll just hear like back to back chords, like kind of bouncy movement. So I kind of did that here. And then yeah, on the piano, just add some reverb and then just some more chorus. All right, the next thing I added was the bass line. Just go to your plugin. Me personally, I use Analogy, and just look up finger bass. And this is the pattern I laid down. So believe it or not, it looks kind of complicated, but it's super simple. I literally just followed the root notes here from A sharp to D sharp to F sharp. And a good method, I think this is the method I use to make it really, just like get your bass notes, and then wherever you hear rhythm, just like chop a note there. So dun dun dun. So I might go chop, chop, dun dun dun. And then let's say you're over here, and then you want to make like a transition note to the higher note. You could just chop a note here, and then that's when you start like changing the pitches of stuff. And that's why I did a lot going throughout this. Just listen to your ear again, and make sure to kind of shorten the notes too. Never have your bass notes overlapping, especially like the transition notes like this. Just make them super short, makes it sound natural. Same thing with the other stuff too. I know I keep repeating myself, but just like change the start times, change the velocities, randomize all that. And then yeah, it's just kind of the same pattern repeating. Other than over here at this 8-bar section, I did add some more notes compared to just this. And I did put like some distortion and some more chorus on this. So this is what it sounds like with no effects. So it just gives it that high end that kind of makes it more noticeable to the listener and gives it like a really vintage feel. It gives it a yacht rock feeling, you know, add chorus to everything, honestly. Then the next thing I added was the electric guitar. Can't have a rock song without an electric guitar. Hey, before I continue with this video, I just want to ask you all if you could please go buy my loop kit. If you want to make trap beats, it's super good for anything in that style. It's got happy, sad, chill, angry, whatever you need. It is in this kit. I'll show you all right here. It's got over 130 loops. Look at all these loops. You can't get tired of it. So yeah, I'll put a sneak peek of like a loop here on screen. And if you like what I cook up on this channel, you'll like what's in this kit. Because every beat on the channel I made before June, I'm pretty sure like 90% of them, the loops are in this kit. So if you want to buy this, I'll leave it in the top left. It's at a super affordable price for how much you're getting. But anyways, let's get right back to the video. So yeah, for this, I literally just followed my ear. I didn't care about any sort of technique. And I just tried to make it sound like a real guitar player. I added like really short notes over here. And then as you got over to like the 3rd and 4th bar, kind of made the notes longer. Again, added like a bunch of slide notes to give it that rock feeling to it. And that just makes it sound super dreamy and cool. Randomize the velocities, change the start times. And then I actually did use flex on this. Usually I never use stock plugins, but on this beat I did for the drums and for flex. And the reason I chose flex other than my other plugins is because I wanted to add the slide notes. I actually don't know how to do like slide notes on foreign, not native plugins to FL Studio. And then the effects actually did play a big role in the guitar. Here's it with no effects. So yeah, it just gives it a ton more power. I added Fruity Blood Overdrive because I wanted to give it that distorted feeling and Fruity Fast distortion. And then I also added strings. I didn't want it to be super loud, so I just made sure to make the noise very quiet because I kind of just wanted something to fill in on the stereo space of the mix. And I just laid down a super simple pattern. And so after that, that's when I like brought it out to the playlist and started rearranging it. And then eventually I thought to myself like, oh, I need a switch up halfway through for like the verse or something. And so after the first chorus, when all the sounds are playing, I decided to kind of change up the piano and have it do this thing where it's just kind of like chopping it up. After these 8 bars, I decided to just completely switch it up entirely. So I added like brand new chords with the same piano. This is what it sounds like. So for the first 4 bars, I had to do this like strumming thing. The last 4 bars, I just had them all hit at once. And then I took the exact same bass 2 and literally just had it follow the root notes of the new chords that we just laid down. And then I also layered it with this ARP. And then the ARP came from Purity. It's called Sweet Angel. as you can hear, just super dreamy. That's probably my favorite part of the beat, honestly. And I just like how it comes out of absolutely nowhere and just kind of changes. And then I brought the back in the drums. And then I needed to bring the hook back in after this verse. So what I did was I took the drums out in the last two. I didn't want to make it where it just like abruptly came back into the first part of the beat because it wouldn't sound good. Like here's what it would have sounded like. Like that just doesn't sound smooth at all whatsoever. I decided to have it where just the bass comes in and a few of the drums too. I did make the drums unique because I kind of did want it to just like slowly build up the drums, as you can hear. And then also the really cool part that kind of makes it smooth is this like reverse reverb effect. The way to make that, I'm not going to actually do it in this video, but I will put a card in the top right because I do have a short explaining how I do this. And basically you just like, you put reverb on your master, then you put Edison below that. You play a sound like for like millisecond, and then you let the reverb tail play out. And then once it's completely done playing out, you pause the Edison, put it in your playlist, and then you reverse it. So then you just have this reverse effect of the reverb. And so yeah, that's pretty much it for the beat. As far as the master goes, I literally just put a soft clipper on it. And so yeah, I'll probably put this beat on my other channel, like just my beat channel, if you all want to go listen to it. But yeah, I think I'll let the beat play out in the outro starting from the switch up. But make sure you like, comment, subscribe on the video, go buy my loop kit, follow me on Instagram, I'll put that link in the description. And I'll probably put this beat like somewhere on screen as it plays in the outro. But y'all have a good day, and I'll see you in the next upload.